Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Adam with ND72. So we're back with my 2003 sl55 budget? Not really. This was my like $7,200 sl55 car that has a few broken things. So what we're going to be doing today is fixing up like kind of the front end. I have a front end clink. I had it ever since I bought the car. I was hoping it had something to do with the ABC stuff, but it didn't. So now we're going to put it up in the air because I want to get the car ready to do like some top speed runs. I want to be able to take it like, you know, a GT car. You know, I could drive down to South Florida with my significant other. We could go here, we could go there with it, put the top down, have some fun with it, and have some power. But before I start buying all these like high performance mods to make it go faster, I want to make sure it's safe. So with that clunking noise, I just want to put it up in the rack and just see if there's anything really weird with it. If maybe a bolt came loose or a bushing's blown out. I just want to fix all that stuff before I start spending money on like, I don't know, bigger throttle bodies and long tube headers and all that stuff. I want to just kind of get all the maintenance stuff, so that's what we're going to put in there and check it out. Alright, so we're giving it a good little once over, seeing if any of the bolts backed out or anything weird. We're in the rear, and I'm on my little cool little cart that I got over here. So, let's keep going. This is all my exhaust, blah, blah, blah. That has nothing to do with anything. Alright, now let's go to the front end. So let's go from where I did some repairs. Nope, none of that's like blown out. That's all pivoting like it should. All pivoting like I should. All pivoting, nothing like came loose of like adjustments. No, it looks all good. Alright, now let's start looking at a few. Whoa, hold up. I think I just found something. Alright, well, hold up, let's look. So is that bushing? Okay, that didn't pop out. Because these tend to like blow out. And same with like over here. That one looks pretty good. Let's go to the other side. Okay, whoop. There's my issue. Holy poop. So, that ain't good. So, this is one of the control arms. As you can see, I apparently have a bushing all the way out of it, because then when you come to this side, this bushing's pretty much in the center. Mother pooper. So, looks like I'm going to be doing front control arms. What else we got over here? Oh, we got one boot for that control arm out. Let's check this bushing. Those look to be pretty good. Looks like some water. So that one's definitely destroyed. Jeez, I could literally fit my finger in between there. I don't know if you could like you could tell that's pretty bad. Let me just try to look up in on this one. I can't. Oh, can you see it? This one's ripped too. Look it right there. Can you see that hole? Like literally, let's try to get like a kind of a good angle and I'll point it out. Yeah. Right there, that whole bushing's ripped apart. So this one's probably bad, but not as bad as that one over there. So let's start looking up parts. All right, it's been about 2 days. I got all the parts ordered. So what I went with is from FCP Euro, some I think they're called like Lingenfels. So as you can see, this box is super small. So when I was looking for the whole lower control arm, they're like $350, $360. That's the cheapest I really could find. And some places were asking $400 or $500 for each of them. That's a little extreme, but you can get just a bushing insert for roughly, I think it was $38. They're cheaper alternative. I found some for like $15, even from FCP Euro for $15. But I decided just to go with the more expensive ones because I even got it overnight shipped with both of them, and it was under $100 for two of them. So not bad. And then I just went on like Amazon, and I got a nice little control arm kit for the fronts, and these were like I think $40. So I got two of those. I probably will install one, and also I got lower ball joints because as you remember, this side's ball joint was a little bit effed up. So I got all that stuff. It was very inexpensive, but I'm going to show you guys how to actually install the bushing and probably save you guys a lot of money. And all you really need, from my understanding, is a cheap little Harbor Freight press. Or you could probably do it with a series of bottle jacks, but that Harbor Freight press was well under I think it was like $160. So right there, buying the press for $160, buying these and getting them overnighted, we're at $260. It's going to cost less than even buying one of them. So I could build two for cheaper than it is to buy one. And that should be all the special tools you need. Everything else is just going to be roughly hand tools. And you'll have a press. And the presses are pretty thin. You don't need nothing big. That's just a 12-ton press. So we're going to put the car up. I'm going to start pulling it apart. I'm going to try to show you step by step. Alright, so we're going to start with taking off the wheel. This is the passenger side. And I also want to show you, like, you could feel that I got play over here. Like, this how you tell. You go left and right, and I don't know if you can see that on camera, but this should be pretty effing tight. And then if I have any bearing issue, I'll go up and down. No, that's pretty good, but this is, I can move that pretty easily. So we'll start with taking off this wheel and start going from there. Okay, so here's the bushing and arm we have to get out. It's not that bad, it's just 3 bolts. So I'm going to first just do with the new shocks we put in. If you have air struts, it's going to be the same thing. It'll be a bolt right there. And these should be all 21 unless you change the hardware. Now, very important fact, this bolt right here, you see it? Right there. So, let's get a little bit. This bolt, don't turn this. Turn the nut, and then push it through. Alright, so we're going to do this. I'm going to break everything loose first. There should be all 21s on my setup. So I'm going to break these nuts loose first, this loose, and then I got my little jack. I'm first going to basically push out the shock, because there'll be tension on this, and then I'm going to start taking these bolts out one by one. So again, this one is pretty easy. You can do a normal ratchet, and then a 21. Just make sure you spin the nut and not the bolt. Ooh. Oh, that's definitely in there. So I have to get a bigger ratchet. Alright, so I got my nice little big breaker bar. That way it'll make it easier, because you don't have really room to get a gun in here. So let's start breaking it loose. There we go. Alright. And then, like I said, make sure you hold this, the bolt part, because you don't want it to spin. But most likely, like mine is already destroyed, so I can literally spin this freely. I'll show you why it shouldn't spin once we pull it all out. So we got that broken loose. Now we'll go over here. Oh, probably gonna need something deeper for over there. Alright, so now we got this one to break loose. Holy crap, I made that tight. Oh, actually, even if you can just see how much play this whole unit has right there. Alright, so we got that one loose. Alright, next we're going to go over to the ball joint side. Alright, next we got the ball joint one right here, so I'm going to break it loose with my 21. The wrench will fit right on there, and then just go. Go. Alright. I do got ratcheting wrenches, but I just like to break everything loose first by like hand, because I don't want to break any of my ratchet wrenches. Now I got all that loose, I'm going to back alive it out and get it down. Alright, now that I got a lot of stuff loose, I'm going to start backing things out. Like if you can see, I already started pushing this one out. But as you can see, I'm pushing this with the shock. The whole spindle and everything's dropping. So we'll just keep backing it up. And I always like to put like a little jack under here. So you could if you want. I'm just going to place it right there with just a little tension. That is a word. Alright. And as long as these were lubed up properly, mine I recently done, they shouldn't be that hard to come out. But if they are, you have to bang the crap out of them. And then you're in a whole different ways of hurting. Alright, so let's make sure. Oop. Drop my nut. But, alright, that's pretty loose now. So now I want to get this even more out. So the ball joint, that one, can you see where my hand is? That one I'm going to get even more out back there. Alright, next up, I got the bolt off of here, or the nut off of here. You can leave the nut on or the nut off. I've just had one time where if you don't put enough threads back on the nut, it'll actually shoot down. Because now we want to separate this ball joint. I sprayed it with penetrator oil. Now there's like 50 ways to do this. This tool is what I use so I don't damage anything. You can get this off Amazon. You can get it from like AutoZone. It's a very common, basically like ball joint spreader, I think it is. And the benefit is that it should not ruin this ball joint. But just in case it is, I bought two off Amazon because it was basically very inexpensive to get two. But we're going to try to pop it out. Now this tool will make, it's a little dangerous, just be careful. That's really it. So, you're going to have this part on up here, little bolt piece. Let's see, let me get better lighting up there. There we go. So, and it's basically just going to squeeze it down, all right? So you'll take it up there. I have to adjust this. All right. And then you could give it a little tap in there. I just get a little rubber mallet just to make sure it's seated in. Check, make sure you're not damaging nothing. Nope. Alright, so mainly what you're trying to do is you're trying to get this top piece over that bolt. I know it's kind of like a bad angle, but... And then you just crank it down. You're not really supposed to use an impact on there. Alright, so if you are going to use an impact, I always just throw a little bit of oil or something. Yes, I know it's getting on my brakes. I'll clean that off just to keep everything cold. And then it's going to make a huge popping noise when it actually pops it out. So see how you got tension? Now, what some people do, they just leave tension on here, and then they'll bang it with a hammer, and this will help like pull it out. And then I just kind of like whale it up there and it'll pop it out. But it makes a loud noise. And, just in case to catch stuff. My little jack is probably overkill, but since I'm on camera, I probably got bad luck and something will happen. There you go. Things are kind of going to get caught. Bam. See how it popped it right out and had a little pop noise? But we're all good. See, didn't even need this. And that joint is still good. So we'll get that out of the way. So now that we've got this joint out of the way, we can wiggle that now. We can wiggle the shock out of the way. And then next, we're just going to get the top bolt over here out. Whoa, where's the camera? This bolt over here out. I'm just going to pull it all out. So remember, try not to twist the bolt. Just do the nut in the back. And you can tap this out. So I gave it a nice little tap. Probably should have moved the camera. And this bolt will come right out because this thing is probably pretty destroyed. Look it. So I can tell you right now, this is not the factory bolt. Factory bolts have slits in them. This is a wrong bolt. But I'm not going to go with the right one because I'm lazy. So now this should wiggle out for how bad it is. Yeah, like, just, got to remember it's like a whole little combination you got to do to get it out. I got to remember. So, go up. All right. So get the shock. Get that out of the way first. Okay, that's out. Now, pull that down. And then, bam. You came right out. So, wow. Let's get this over there and I can see how bad this is. Alright, you could just see how bad this carnage is. Like, if you look directly, that's not even center with that. We'll pop these caps off and actually look down there because we got to press this out anyways. I mean, it's not so bad it's walking out, but it's pretty effing bad. Also note, when you're reinstalling, you see how this slit goes that way? It's supposed to be basically parallel, more or less, with this, which mine kind of is. So we're going to start breaking this apart and get ready to press out. Once I pop this cover off, you should be able to see how bad it is. Alright, now that we're pressing it out, this is the old one. We don't have to worry about it too much, so we could be a little rough with it. We're going to, you see these like washers? They're actually pressed into it too, so we're going to push our rod directly on the little oval shape one and start pushing that out. And like I said, it's already destroyed, so it doesn't really matter if we mess that bushing up anymore. Now reinstalling, I'll show you a special little trick I did. You see how this press is literally just sliding that bad girl right out. Alright, so we're going to back off a little bit. Now we back off, we got it pressed out of the washer. So the washer's still good. So, yeah, I did some damage, but this is not good. This was pretty blown out. Like, all I really did is push a little bit, and this whole thing is destroyed. So, now we have to finish getting that, but there's a trick to get this coupler out. Now, first, removing it, you could just keep going down, and it might take that coupler out. If not, I got a special little thing that's free. Let's see if it will push that coupler out, though. I think it's just going to push the center if I kept going. So let's see. Alright, yeah, it's just flexing. Alright, so here's the trick. So, you'll find the biggest socket you got, and you're going to put it in there. Oh, I got to bring my press up just a little bit. And you're going to have it grab as much, like on the side over there as you can, to grab that ring so it can push the ring down. So right, something like that will do it. And then all you do is like pump. There we go. And then just keep going and it'll eventually push it through. Okay, another little trick is you get yourself a sawzall And if you just cut a slit right through there, this should come out. I've done this before and I just want to try it. Yeah, look it. See, now you can squeeze and this whole piece will come out. And now this is more or less trash to a point. So now we're going to sit there and clean this all up and then install the new one. The new install is pretty easy. Alright, now you're ready to install. As you can see, this is looking kind of weird because I had it in the freezer the whole time. So I like to throw it in the freezer, then I'm trying to put some anti-seize on it, but it's a little cold. So I put anti-seize on this part of it, so now we're going to start pressing it in. So what you want to do is make sure you put it on the flat part, okay? Get this piece pretty lined up, because remember this slit, if you look, they're different. See how it's like oval? So get the slit to be right along over there, and then I give it a little push just to hold it in place. And then you remember your old ring that came out? That's what you're going to be using. So you'll put your old ring, because you don't really want to push on the center because you might damage the new one. So if you put that old ring, it fits effing perfectly on there. So you got, I don't even need it like that. Just like this, and then pump her on down. So you got to be a little bit quick with this just because you just froze it. So make sure you got everything all set up, and then just go. And this should slide in there pretty easily. Oh, here's my light. Alright, here's a little bit better view. So also make sure when you're pumping it down that you're not hitting anything on the bottom over there. So I kind of am, so we're going to release and move it before I go too far and get it stuck. Alright, there we go. And then this bushing should literally slide right effing in. Oh yeah, look at it. It's just going down. And then when you're doing it, keep checking the bottom because you want it to be even on top of the bottom. So with the whole evenness of how much here and down there is, go slow, so stop every once in a while if you need to. I can see mine pretty well. Alright, I'm going to stop there and check it. Release. That's looking pretty good. I might have to pump a little bit more to go down a little bit, but that's pretty effing close. So we're going to pump a little bit more, and then I'm going to call that good. Probably one more pump. That's usually all they ever need. Giggity. Alright, so now we got the new arm basically all built. Now you can go throw a coat of paint on this if you want it to look really new. But I'm pretty much okay with it. It's all lined up there, like pretty effing good on my eye. And the oval is going almost straight on. Like in my eye, it is. So now we're going to work on pulling apart the other control arm, which should be effing easy now that we have most of the stuff already ripped off, and throw a brand new one of those in. Alright, next up for getting this arm, it's really effing easy. Take that 21 out, and then you're going to do the 21s up here. These will be treated the exact same way where you do the nut, not the bolt. And then this arm literally should pop right out now that you have so much, look at all that wiggle room. I will be putting the brace under here just because we're slowly removing everything from this hub. It should be fine, but just in case, I still want to have a little brace right there. Alright, so to take this arm out, same thing. Put your little tool in there, get it all set up, and then start cranking your thing down. That will pop out, and then this should literally just come right out so much easier than this one was, but still they weren't bad on either. So here's the other one out. As you can see, you have quite a bit of play in here. So that's not good. And we're starting getting some cracks on this side, but don't worry. Scoot, 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 scoot. I got a brand effing new one. Now these are like right side, left side, so I got to make sure I put the right side one on. But everything's going to be pretty straightforward to go right back in. There's not really any tricks. It's just do what you just did, just in reverse. So I'm going to knock all that out, and I'll show you the final results. Okay, next step that I forgot to say, or last step, you got to get the little washers on, so this is pretty easy. Get some penetrating oil, look at your old style, and duplicate how they go on. You just got to literally tap them. So, recommendation, don't hit it like this. You can go uneven. If you just take like a little mallet and just go on the ground, they slide right in. So make sure you hit enough where it goes flush, and you'll be able to tell the difference of while you're hitting it. Just like that much force will get it in there, and then you're ready to install it. So I already got this part all the way in. This is the same way. Drop it right in, pretty easy. Now I'm gonna do this arm. Not really any big tricks to it. You just gotta get a good angle and wiggle it in. All right, we got everything back in. One or two little things. Make sure you put blue Loctite on everything. That's not a nylock. And if you see I got my little jack here, I'm just putting a little bit of tension. So you don't want to really crank down any suspension components unless you have like the full load, so it'll be on the car. So the easiest thing is you just get like a old tire or something, or old rim, and you drop it on there, and then you can still crawl under and tighten everything up. But it's looking pretty good. Oh, also I put anti-seize on like all the rub spots when I went in. So now we're going to drop it down. Well, no, take that back. We're going to tighten it all up. Put the wheel on, drop it down, tighten it all up, and then put it back in there and shake the crap out of it and see if we got that shake away. All right, so we got the wheel all tightened up. Holy crap. That is rock effing solid. I barely I'm just turning the steering wheel now. That is so much nicer now. Like before I was able to go like clunk, 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 clunk. Now like I got to do some force. I got nothing. I have to grab the back and I end up spinning the whole effing wheel. That is so much nicer. Like nothing. So we're going to lower it down, we're going to torque it, and then we'll be done with this job. So guys, we got the sl55 front end suspension dialed in now. Like, it is so effing solid. Nothing moves on the front wheels where I used to go clink clink, and you saw how bad my control arms were. They are super good now. So what we did in that video was two of the, I think they're called the rear lower control arms, one of the front lower control arms, one little ball joint, but everything else checked out good. I'm going to put a link down below. I got most of my stuff from FCP Euro, some of the stuff from Amazon, and I'll put a link down below for that specialty tool and for the press at Harbor Freight. So I'll do all the math, but I'm 99% sure doing it how I did it saved about $300-400 bucks. Because if each one of those control arms were $350 bucks each, and then I could just buy the bushings for 40 bucks each, and then the press, I'm pretty sure I saved a couple $100 bucks, and it's a very easy job to do with simple hand tools, minus out the press and that one little specialty tool. But I hope you guys liked the video. I'm going to have a lot more coming with the SL. We're going to get a lot of little cosmetic things fixed, like right here. FYI, those are not cheap to buy. These little cover, 200 bucks from Mercedes. From a junkyard, they're cheaper, but not that cheap. So I got a lot of little cosmetic things we're going to do in the next video. Make this car look more like the $30,000 car was factory. And then we'll start doing some performance mods once I get it all looking right and having fun. But catch you guys later. Throw a comment down below. Throw a like. Tell me what you want me to see. I know a couple people said they want more maintenance videos and more like in-depth how-to. Hope this one made some people happy, but catch you guys later.